So today I'm going to talk about herbs and testosterone. And this is, I would say, in significant part necessary because of all of the misinformation that's available or that's being put out there. Um, there are lots of things that herbs can do to help people who have low testosterone. And so, there's many that we could start with that are touted for this, but let's start with Tribulus, Latin name Tribulus terrestris, and this comes from Central Asia, and it's very widespread, very weedy plant now. Um, so it's also, besides being called caltrop vine, it's called puncture vine, and that's because its seed capsules, these fruits, have these spines such that any way they land, if they're attached to the plant or if they fall off, there's going to be a spine sticking straight up. Now, we start looking at older men, and in some cases, including with this one, looking at older women, we start to see a whole different story. And so these are men who have basically low testosterone level at the outset, and they're having symptoms. They're tired. They may have erectile dysfunction. They may have low libido, difficulty gaining weight or gaining or maintaining muscle mass. And so we have a range of studies looking at what they might do. And one thing that I love about some of these studies that are done in India is they followed through the traditional combination of withania with milk, which is understood to improve the absorption of it, make it work better. And so in this one study, which was an open study, we see that, well, both the first two studies were open studies, that it looked like 5 grams of withania powder and milk per day could raise testosterone levels. So another one, which is not such a big, it's not really strongly marketed particularly, but in this, so now I'm kind of shifting gears away from sort of the ones that are out there that everyone kind of talks about or promotes or whatever, and just getting into some things that have been looked at research-wise. Mucuna pruriens is a legume. Obviously, it's called velvet bean. You can see its fruit here has these furry hairs on it, so you've just got to remove those. They're actually pretty irritating, so I'm told. So you've got to remove the hairs to be able to eat the seeds inside, and that's really the part that's used. All right, so that's what I could find in the literature, looking at herbs that are kind of touted for raising testosterone levels, as well as just what I could find where there isn't really touting in actual human studies. But I did want to bring up that some herbs appear to be able to lower androgen levels. And this has mostly been in the context of an adverse effect, but as a beneficial thing in people with PCOS.